Welcome to the Sam and Ray podcast. I'm Sam.
And I'm Ray.
And today we have two special guests, the ladies from On This Frequency, Ricky Lee Moda and Natalie Moda. So excited. With them being here, you know we're going to have actual intelligent thought.
Oh my gosh, I'm honored. You think I'm intelligent?
Oh my God. Deep feeling thoughts where me and Ray are just like balls. Nards.
Hey, I learned something new every time I listen to your show. I had no idea what nards were. That was exciting.
Now
Well,
you know.
I'm glad we were
Now
able
you
to
know.
help you figure that out.
Oh no, man, it's seriously an honor. And every time that I listen to the Sam and Ray podcast, I'm like, oh, Sam is my best friend. She doesn't even know it. No, seriously.
That's the vibe I hope I give to everybody.
You really do.
But I know not everybody feels that vibe, and that's okay.
It's just the people that aren't true to themselves.
Yeah.
Sounds like the best friend you didn't know you needed in your life.
Oh,
That's
sure.
what that is.
See, we're crying. We do that to people.
We haven't even had her cry on our
No,
episode.
Wait, really?
No, she came close to it when she found out about me being depressed when she was depressed.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one did make me teary-eyed. I was like, oh.
It is what
I
it
wanted
is.
to hug you
you
guys.
wanted to die when I wanted to die.
I had so many questions after that episode. I called both of them. I'm like, I have questions.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Like
for sure.
legit, was that the first time you found out that he felt that way?
Yeah, definitely.
And real quick, shout out to Ricky Lee. So we always talk about Ricky Lee in our podcast. So
Yeah.
now there's a voice to it. One day there will probably be a face. If you want if you want to see the face actually on this frequency live every Friday
On
Twitch.
You
Yeah.
guys got to tap in.
Yeah.
Especially for the single guys, because
Mm-hmm.
Miss Ricky Lee's
I'm
over here
raising my hand
pulling
right
them.
now.
Miss Ricky Lee's pulling them.
We're trying
Yep.
to put her on dates.
Yes.
Trying to send her to the
A good
Bahamas.
man who cooks,
Ooh, yeah.
wants
like
to
the cook.
travel,
All of those things.
Oh,
and
pasta,
wants to
right?
go to like the haunted ice lakes that she talks about.
The
I feel
pasta
like
thing.
the ice thing or the lakes is gonna be a hit or miss one, because I do want to go look at creepy ass lakes and frozen. I have a fascination with strange nature,
Paranormal type shit. Yeah.
There's haunted lakes.
Yes.
I mean, I guess I believe it, like people dying there and shit like that, or drowning.
You know, we had a conversation. Well, I didn't have a conversation. They had a conversation
Full on.
You just happen to be there.
from Ontario to LA.
Tell them the story, because it's a great story.
Of them just like I just needed, like, I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
Right. So I gotta start my morning. I was telling Ricky a while ago. It's like I have a thing called Nipco and coffee. So I need some Nipsey Hussle, some J Cole, and a cup of coffee.
Okay.
And I just let it out. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Get my morning started.
Okay.
Go.
I gotta send that playlist. I have it on my Apple. I should send you guys
Yeah,
a playlist.
share it.
Yeah.
But then that morning I was just like, you know what? I need some Bone Thugs in my fucking life.
Oh, I haven't heard Bone Thugs in a while,
Oh,
actually.
I needed it. So I proceed to turn it on. And it's The Art of War. So it's like one of their dopest fucking albums.
Oh.
Tell me why
They're
they're
already
over here
died.
fucking giggling. They already know what's coming. Tell me why these two think that it's a bright idea for the next 54 minutes
Straight.
straight
Continuous.
with no pause. I didn't
Did
think.
you even catch a breath?
No.
I'm saying
No.
now I understand why my wife is so talented in certain areas of.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say I had the gift of gab, not the gift of
Well, it's definitely not
something
gag.
oh my God.
Well, this escalated quickly.
Welcome, ladies. Welcome to my life.
Welcome back to the Sam and Ray podcast.
See, no thought behind it. Balls again and blowjobs. That's it.
Nards.
Nards.
But no, so they continue to have this conversation. Literally, I think it was like 48 minutes.
Yeah, no, for sure.
From the minute we left the studio to the minute we got to the stadium of just fucking shit that has no relevancy to life. The Loch Ness Monster,
That's relevant.
aliens,
That's relevant.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. It was everything. And it felt good because you can talk to certain people about those topics, but at a capacity.
Yeah.
Certain people can take like a
Yeah.
10-minute conversation about aliens, but transitioning to Bigfoot, most people will not do that.
Yeah.
Like they can only take so much. I was just going with it. I was like, Samantha can go.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We're going now.
And the
Wow.
crazy thing is, so a lot of people when they meet Samantha,
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, she's really quiet and this
Yeah.
and that."
I'm feeling my audience.
Yeah, it's like, nah, like you gotta have like a one-on-one with her, and you'll figure out like
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
she don't fuck
shut
around.
the fuck up, man.
And
Talking
she's
about aliens.
a wealth of information. Like has a
Yeah.
lot of facts. Fact finder of all fact finders.
But does it have anything to do with like real life? No.
No.
It's
yeah,
Like I can give you bullshit facts. Like, you know what I read on Snapple Facts? Is that a mango has a nose. Yeah,
Listen.
food for thought there.
What? Is that serious?
Yeah, no.
wait,
I'm pretty
what
sure
is
it said
it?
a mango has a nose.
the mango looks like a nose.
What?
If
Wait
you
a
look
minute.
at a mango,
We're gonna get into that too.
just take it.
What kind of nose
It's
are you
a
looking at?
nose.
Big ass nose.
I thought about Gonzo. Remember Gonzo?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Or
like a
even-
banana.
big
What about the
nose.
guy, the
Yeah.
Humpty Dance?
Yeah, but his
Oh.
was fake.
Yeah, I know, but
Why
it's
did
that
he
big.
do that?
It was just glasses and
But
Never
isn't,
understood
Shock
that.
G.
isn't
Yeah.
there a part in that song that he's like I'll
Yes.
tickle you with my nose? Like,
Oh my god.
Okay.
you know?
That
yes,
makes
there
sense.
is there is
Yeah.
that part in the song.
It's all-
Tickle you with my nose.
Yeah, look at now she's looking it up.
something like that. I don't think those are like the for sure words, but something along the lines of that.
Man, well, we don't ever really do topics, right? But there's a topic that caught all of our attention during the week,
Yeah.
and shout out to everyone and their patience because we didn't record a podcast in between
Oh yeah.
a couple weeks, mainly because we have our children and our attention is towards them right now. So
Yeah.
they have, not that we don't have custody of our children, but that sounded weird, huh?
Yeah.
Like we have our children.
Schools usually have them throughout
But yeah,
the day.
all the kids are on spring break, so
Yeah.
now it's like, oh, you know, we have
Now
time.
we're bothered.
we have time to do this. Let's do this. And this was a topic that came up, and I ended up posting it on my personal page that got the attention of Ricky Lee,
Yeah.
Natalie. It got the attention of a lot of people, and
I
even
bet.
Samantha was like, "Whoa!" So
Yeah.
it was a post from I don't even know, is it Mindset Mastery
Yeah.
on Instagram, and it's a picture, and the post says, "Narcissists are like, yeah, I hurt you, but now you hate me, so I'm the true victim."
Yes.
So today,
Yes.
off of that topic, let's talk about narcissists.
Oh god.
I actually looked up the definition because I wanted to be
Same,
like
yeah.
sure, like what I kind of know what it means, and a lot of people do have a lot to say about narcissism.
Yeah.
But it says that a narcissist is a person who has an excessive interest in or admiration of themselves, right? Narcissists who think the world revolves around them. Narcissists preening themselves in front of the mirror. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I started thinking of all the narcissists in my life, like, oh,
Yes.
I'm surrounded by them.
And so you saying that, right? I'm listening to some of those tendencies, and I like to look at myself in the mirror, as fat as I am.
You're stupid.
And I tend to think the world revolves around me, but not in that aspect. I think it's more in the aspect of my world, meaning me and what I happen to supply in life, revolves around me, meaning
Yeah.
the care I have to have for my wife and my kids. So there's levels to that, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I fit in the category of narcissist. I know Samantha has called me a narcissist at times, just when we get into arguments. But at the end of the day, it's really like just me knowing how to piss her off.
Yeah. You know where, you know your angles.
You know exactly what he does. He
But
tells you guys.
and the levels of it, because there's I researched kind of
different
this a little
types,
bit more, right? It says narcissism is a self-centered personality style characterized as having an excessive preoccupation with oneself and one's own needs, often at the expense of others. And I think that that's the difference between you saying like, you know, how you do have to prioritize yourself, but it's at the expense of others. Narcissism exists on a continuum that ranges from normal to abnormal personality expression. While there exist normal, healthy levels of narcissism in humans, there are also more extreme levels of narcissism. It's actually a fascinating topic because there you do have to have a lot of self, but they do categorize it as a pathological mental illness.
And it actually, I don't know if where you're reading it also, I've learned that narcissism affects more men than it does women.
Yes,
Meaning
I looked
like
that up.
more men are narcissists than
Yes.
women. Oh, for sure.
Yes.
And then I think about all the men in my life and I'm like, oh.
See, and I had always felt like, men are more narcissistic than women. But I was thinking, like, is that because I'm a woman?
Yeah.
And I'm
The
like,
thought
men
process.
fucking suck.
Yeah.
No, I just Googled it and I was like, who's most likely to be a narcissist? First thing, males.
Which
Which
I mean,
obvious.
that does
It's
make
obvious.
sense. I think.
Yeah.
I think what ends
be
up
fair.
what ends up
At least-
happening is most of the time. So from the things that I've seen and kind of read on, and mainly from personal experience, because I'm in a shop all day, so I end up seeing these men and I hear the conversations that they have, or they come to me about conversations. But then I also I hang out with women all the time.
Yeah.
You ladies, my wife,
Yeah.
my mom,
Yeah.
so I get the perspective of both sides. I understand it. And it's oftentimes when I realize where there's that narcissist is that it's the man that ends up making himself a victim. That's like the very first thing that I'll recognize is where he's the victim, right? He's like, oh, poor me.
Sad boy.
Like my life doesn't work this way because of this and that. There's zero accountability
and excuses for everything.
Yeah, there's zero accountability to the shit that's going on, as opposed to creating or finding some type of solution. So, for you ladies, what has been your guys' experience? And this could go as deep and as dark as you have to let it go, I guess. But it's a fucking serious topic. I don't think people understand how, there's a level of it where it's just they want to control you.
Yeah.
There's you know what I mean? There's
It impacts your life greatly. It
because
can
it's
impact your life greatly.
I'm never wrong. It's bro, what you're doing a lot
Yeah.
wrong.
Which I thought was interesting because when we had the group text about this, you responded, Natalie, with I wrote the book on narcissism. I said, what the hell? How did this happen? And I didn't understand what you meant by that. You yourself were a narcissist?
I think that because I've dealt with a narcissist, I myself have had narcissistic tendencies due to that. Okay. So I won't say who, but by the way that I'll present this, you'll kind of pinpoint who I'm talking about, right? Without saying exactly. So I have this person very near and dear to my heart and probably my number one fan. I am his number one fan. Their number one fan. I'll give you guys a hint, right? And for everything, for a long time, it was always about them and what they're going through and their problems and their life to the point where they would call me and tell me all about the things that they need help with and how I can help them. And long story short, to say that at the end of every conversation was, all right, well, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Or anyway, are you okay? Oh, okay. Well, hey, I gotta go. Bye. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Well,
I'm fine too.
Fuck me, right? Fuck me and all my,
Right.
What about my problems? Or not that, I guess I can't share them with you because you don't have the capacity to listen to me while you're going through all of your life shit.
Yeah.
And it could be good or bad, whatever they're going through. They just dump on you and then it's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that's why I'm so good at listening too. I've become a great listener. Was okay, well, I'm just here to listen. You know what I mean?
So there's pros and cons to
Damn.
your experience of it, obviously.
Because I've become the listener, but I've also picked up on, okay, well, if this person that is close to me, that I essentially look up to, well, if that's how they're acting, well, I act the same way. So now I have narcissistic tendencies as well. Now it's all about me. Now it's all about my gain and what I can benefit from other people or figuring all of that out. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I would not define you as that. I don't think that you have narcissistic tendencies at all.
Oh, I appreciate
And
that.
quite frankly, did you ever think to express to this person, hey, I care about
Or
you
people.
and I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, or people. I care about you. I love you. I'm here to listen to you, but sometimes you're overwhelming and I don't know what you expect from me. And do you care about my life? Have you ever had that conversation with them?
What do you think the narcissist says? I'm the victim.
Oh my God. Yes.
I didn't. No, I didn't. Oh, okay.
So-
That never happened.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
What,
what?
what about you, Samantha? Obviously, because I think there's levels to it, right? I think we all have encountered it because, again, mind you, me being the only man in this room, I have to remind you that there are women who are narcissists.
Yes.
And sometimes it's because it's so rare that women are. It's the women that you find that are very extreme. in being narcissists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, and what fucking sucks is the ones that acknowledge that they're doing something
And they still do it?
and they still do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, well, you fucking.
Toxic.
And see, you know what? With you saying that, I feel you on you saying you think you have narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah.
Because then I'll feel like, oh shit. Like, am I doing that? Am I? And then I will start like, oh my God. But I've also watched, I don't know, something on YouTube. And they're like, if you're worried you have narcissistic tendencies, you are not a narcissist. Because that person could give a fuck of if they were a narcissist or not. They don't question it. They don't feel bad about it. They don't do any of those things. So you're fine. So as long as you're questioning it, you're good.
Okay, good. I'm not a narcissist. All
Yeah,
right.
no, you're okay. You've been diagnosed. You're fine. You're not it.
Thank you, guys.
And it actually says narcissists often get flack for being incapable of change. And the reason, because per psychologist, right, is that they're just not aware of their own tendencies or choose to. Like, you don't freaking know.
Yes, and you know
so
what's even
sad.
funnier is that a person that I know who's a narcissist, they'll be like, "Oh well, I said this and I said that and da 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 da," and they're like saying how like I was right, whatever. But then if let's say I were to say like, "Oh well, this person," and do like the exact same situation, well, you're wrong for doing that. That's wrong. Well, what would you shouldn't really be that way.
Right.
That's wrong. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, what's the difference?
What's the fucking difference?
Right.
If anything, the way I did it was way calmer than how you went about your situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's always how, oh, would God like that?
Oh.
They want us to be better. God wants us to be better. I was like, and God wants you to stop lying.
So then,
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
can we really blame narcissists if they're not aware? Like,
So,
I feel that they are aware.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like they are aware. But I feel like they put up a boundary on purpose, because it's like you cannot not be aware if things are being presented to you constantly. If these situations happen,
keep telling you.
and people keep telling you, after a while, like we've said it on your guys' podcast before. After a while, if so many people are telling you the same thing,
it must be true.
then it must be fucking true, right? So.
Yeah.
Who's to say that they just don't get it? No, they get it. They don't care. Like Samantha said, like they just don't fucking care.
Yeah.
They
It's
put
worked
up
for him for them this long.
Yeah, they put up that wall and they put up that boundary purposely.
And it's even funnier because then when you do say something about how they're behaving, you don't get it. You don't get it.
Oh yeah.
You don't understand. I'm like, what don't I understand?
Yeah.
I just threw back the situation that you were talking
The
about.
exact same scenario.
I am telling you where you crossed a line. You don't get it. See, you'll never understand. I was
Yeah.
like, why? Because I'm stupid? Like,
Yeah.
what, please explain to
So
me
the
how I won't.
the insults keep
Yes.
coming and they gather up,
And
they pile up.
You go nowhere.
Yeah, and even
go nowhere.
there's another person that I had been like, hey, I've been feeling this way. I don't know what to do about it. Well, that's just a feeling. It's not fact.
Oh, I hate that.
And I'm like,
that feeling thing. Oh my
And
god.
I was like, okay,
not
in
a
my
fact.
and I wanted to say it, but of course I couldn't because of the place I was in.
Which there's that irony, which goes back to that post where it's like,
Yeah.
I've done everything to you, but now you made me feel this way. I'm the
Yeah.
victim.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
And he was and he was just like, oh, that's not fact. And I was thinking like, so you would like me to stop this person and be like, okay, I want to make sure I'm getting this correctly because I can't feel that I'm doing this or you're doing this to me. Let me ask you for fact, you're being a bitch to me right now, right? So that when I go to this person, I'm not saying it's a feeling, it's a confirmation. She said yes.
It's
Like
been confirmed.
it's being confirmed right now that
This is how you're
this
acting.
is how you're acting because a feeling is nothing. But when this person was telling me, he was like, I get a feeling. And I was gonna be like, fool, no feelings.
Feelings don't count.
Feelings don't count. Is it fact or is it not? You cannot tell me about your feelings if mine were not valid.
Which is the perfect
Yeah.
example of why
And-
that post is so relevant, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously you guys have experienced that.
Yeah.
Like in the situations that you went through, it's just like kind of like how you said, like they just when you felt something heavy, you're like, you know what, I gotta fucking let this out.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll talk later.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not available to you right now.
And I even looked up because of the whole conversation of narcissists, like who is their favorite victim? And it's a people pleaser.
Oh, that does.
And I thought of you. I thought of you. I
Yes.
thought of me. I was like, fuck, we're screwed.
You didn't think about me.
And I thought about you, and I was like,
I'm like, you don't have to lie. You don't have
because
to
you're
lie.
not a people pleaser. You are the narcissist in my life. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Please
kidding.
you in other ways.
Oh my God.
Well, they just know how to reel you in. They know how to sucker you in,
Yeah.
and it's cakewalk to them.
And they use your anxieties and your vulnerability
Yeah.
to manipulate you.
And the people pleaser is now like,
oh my God,
what did I do wrong?
Yes. It's just like racking my brain, like, what the fuck did I do? Did I say something wrong? Or maybe the tone I said it was this way. And then it's just like, oh my God, please let them forgive me because I don't know what I did. And I don't want to be seen as this horrible person.
A big
It's just
like
a whole thing.
and then they wonder why we're crazy.
a big
and on medication.
a big example of that though is the show You.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
the guy who stalks.
yeah, that motherfucker's like
was a good show.
he's an extreme narcissist.
Did you guys finish it, by the way,
I
this
did.
last season?
I did.
I
I
tripped
didn't.
out so hard that I'm like, I don't think I want to watch this anymore.
He did trip.
Oh, really?
It tripped because it was like
It was a trip.
I just felt bad rooting for this dude, realizing
Yeah.
oh fuck it. If you haven't seen it by now, fucking catch up. It's already
Yeah.
been out like for a month.
Yeah, I
What
don't
are
know
you guys
why
doing?
I can't get myself to
But-
finish the second
But
part.
pretty much at the end of it, everything was him.
Yeah.
What do you mean everything was him?
Everything was him. So in this last season,
Was it all in his mind?
mhm,
Oh shit!
it's
Wait,
like it's
what?
almost like
That
he
shit
fucked.
tripped
It's like
me
he
out.
blacked out. So every
Oh.
time he thought he was like trying to solve a case or something, he was just trying to solve the same fucking situation that he fucking made happen.
Yeah.
But he was just like, well, no, it wasn't me. It was that person. He was a fucking narcissist.
yeah,
He
yeah.
he found a way to fucking be able to point the finger at someone.
Yeah.
But in actuality, it was really fucking him.
Him.
Yeah, it was super trippy. The
Oh
way
man,
that
now I
it
gotta go
ended.
home and watch
Yeah.
that shit.
Mm-hmm.
The
That's
first
crazy.
part of the last season was a little like
Like, what the fuck?
All right, what? And then I was like, all right, well, let me finish this. The second part, I was like, oh,
Because they
Shit.
cleared it to the point like in that first half, which makes sense now
Yeah.
why they did put it in two halves.
yeah,
Because the first half shows you like you had
him trying to change.
yeah, you gathered pity for him.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, I'm rooting for this dude. I hope
Yeah.
he's really trying to fucking not do this shit again. But it's just like
that's weird.
the crazy
Yeah.
part was finding out that homegirl's dad knew who he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was just like
Ooh.
like he went to meet he went to go meet the girl's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because then they started getting all serious and shit.
Yeah.
And she gets up, goes to the restroom, and they're in the restaurant, and he's just like, "So, Joe, I need you to take care of this thing for me."
Yeah. Knowing that about what he's done.
Yeah, it
It's a
was.
trip.
Okay, I gotta watch
Wait, you
it
guys
because
now
I
I gotta
didn't finish it.
Yeah, I didn't finish
Yeah.
it either.
It definitely left it for next season.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the 5th and final season. I think
Do you
he
think
said.
the person who created
is a narcissist? Probably.
you is a narcissist?
You know, I
Because
always,
that's really fucking in
that's
depth.
very in depth, and I feel like I always question that about the writers of these things. Like, where the fuck did you get this from? You
That's
must have a
dark.
twisted mind.
Super dark.
Like, oh, they're so creative. It was like, but did they murder people?
Yeah.
Do they
Yeah.
have people hiding somewhere in their
Did
basement?
they murder people?
Yeah. That trips me out. I don't know, but that all of that made me think that, and I was like, nope, I'm good. I'm gonna put this You series in the backpack.
And do any of you
I'm not
guys
gonna-
ever question, like, oh my God, could I be that crazy person?
No, I don't think that's.
I think it's my anxiety.
to
I'm like, oh my God, could I
to be
lose my
honest-
mind and start doing these things?
I think depending on the situation, right? Don't look at me like that.
No, I'm just like looking at Natalie because she's like, no, I would never think that. I'm like,
I didn't know about it. Like anything is possible.
But
Yeah,
I feel like
you never know when you're gonna trip.
No.
I feel like
as she scooches farther away.
wait a minute.
Gotta go.
I feel like depending on the situation, right? Like if I had to do something for somebody that I loved, then I would go full fucking Joe. Is
Yeah.
it Goldberg or Goldwing?
Goldwing.
Goldwing.
Goldberg, right? Goldberg or Goldberg. What's his last name?
Goldberg.
Goldberg.
Goldberg. Fucking Joe.
Yeah,
I
just Joe. Joe from
Joe.
I would go full fucking Joe, but I don't think I would lie about it.
You'd be
I would probably most likely cover my tracks and not. But I honestly like depend. Like if someone
Just in case anybody from the FBI is listening.
Which they are.
Just conversation. It's
Hypothetical.
not true.
Hypothetical, yeah.
Hypothetical. Yes, thank
All
you.
hypothetical.
well for me it's just like I think most men, maybe not the narcissistic men, but most men would for a person that they love and they care about, like their significant other or their children, like you would go to a certain extent,
Yeah,
to protect you. Yeah, right.
But do you ever think that they would let people who are kind of narcissists would do the same, but be like, "Look what I did for you."
Yep, 1,000%.
Damn. You just thought about that right now.
Yeah,
Look what I did for you.
Yeah.
Now
Yep.
you're mine for the rest of your fucking life because
Yeah.
remember that one time?
Yep.
That one time.
I
And that's
shit.
enough
Can you
to
wipe my
be a
ass?
lifetime.
Remember that one time?
Oh, they're gonna hold it to you. That's pretty fucking extreme. They're gonna hold everything to you.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
never met somebody like that?
I have.
I have.
I've never had
Thrown
anyone.
it right in my face.
I've never had someone ask me to wipe their ass.
Well, I'm just
Okay,
saying.
neither.
Besides
It's gonna
my
happen
kids.
one day.
Yeah.
Besides
It's gonna
my
happen.
kids.
Yep.
But it's true. Like you can't say that. Oh, you know, they would hold it over your head for the rest of your life.
Yeah. They guilt trip you all kinds of ways, and then you feel like shit about it. Like,
Be
oh,
like,
you know,
if
I
it
should do
weren't
that,
for
I
me,
guess.
you wouldn't be here. Or if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have this. If it weren't for me, you'd be in the street. Like if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be.
I was just
Okay, go ahead, Ricky, because I feel like you.
like replaying. Being in love with a narcissist is no fucking joke.
Go for it.
I'm thinking about all of those stories. And it's funny because I just had this conversation last week where we were going back and forth with said person who is an extreme narcissist. And, you know, we were saying how, well, I've done this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Like I listed all of these investments and all of these efforts and all of this love, like telling him like, this is what I've done. And then for some reason I was like, okay, so show me your part of the reciprocation.
Yeah.
And there was just silence.
Oh. Ooh.
Just silence as my nose is running. Sorry. Like straight silence. And it was really awkward, but necessary.
Yeah.
Because I want to believe that something registered. But I'm like, nah. It's just an awkward moment. It's just silence, but there's no... It's going to go back to the same shit. Does that make sense?
Yeah. They'll
There's no
twist
change.
it back and make it they're the victim once again.
I really want to believe that moment of silence meant something. That something registered.
You know
and that's
that-
the hopeless part of me that believes that people can change.
That-
and
that moment
it
of silence,
That
though.
moment was he was trying to figure out how to get out of it.
Right.
That or,
He's like,
or,
fuck.
Yeah.
or he was just. I could hear the fucking chains from the the dock doors. And they
Oh,
start-
rolling up.
that was the fucking garage door closing so that nothing gets into the
Yeah.
vault because
Yeah.
that moment of silence was like fuck. But
Right.
so it goes back to that, like they figure out a way perhaps to just block it out,
Yeah.
right? Like you end up
Yeah, that too.
'Cause
That's
you-
that boundary
'cause
that you said.
because you can't not know that's who you are.
But
There-
that's denial too, though.
There's no way of it. No, but is it denial or just blatant like fucking disregard for just not giving a fuck? Because at the end of the day, if you're in a room full of everybody that's in your life, and we were to have somebody write down, like everyone has to write something on a card, right? And it has to describe you, and it has to be open and honest, not to please you, but to be honest and vulnerable with you. If you're not going to tell me that if you're in that room and the majority of all those people who are in that room that are in your life tell you this one thing and it's all consistent, no one knew who wrote what, you're going to tell me that it's not fucking true?
You're gonna tell me that they're wrong? That they're all
I don't
wrong?
know. I used to think that people had just as much of awareness as I did, and not to
Oh, that's hopeful. That's
and
cute.
not to think right, and not to think that I feel like I'm not even as aware as I would want to be or think I am, or and then I realized like, no, people are just dumb. I'm sorry, but they are not. People don't think past.
How fine is that line though? For each, because I feel like it doesn't cross, like those lines, those barriers are very very thin as you go to each level of it, right?
And then you feel as you get older, you
would
get
assume.
wiser.
You would
And
assume.
then where's
Well,
the
that's my
disconnect?
question. How does somebody become a narcissist? You're not born a narcissist.
I feel
You
like-
don't just wake up one day and
That's a
like
great
fuck
question.
people.
It's nature and nurture.
I
Something like that.
think I would say
Is it neglect?
I would say no. I think the biggest part of it would be nurture,
Nurture.
because I feel like
Over nurturing
Over?
someone.
Because they said that the people who are usually narcissists, I think they said, are firstborns.
That makes sense.
Because you coddle them. They're your first baby.
Well, hold on. I was the first.
Fucking get out of here, you narcissist.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
no one
but
likes you.
I know.
but I think it really depends on the parent
Yeah.
and how they raise their child.
I'm seeing that, and that's one thing. Like I wouldn't say we. I would say maybe me more than Samantha, but that's why I get a lot of looks on how I raise my children. But I raise my children to understand accountability.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking feel sorry for you. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, it's gonna be okay." No, you fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you fucked up. Let's figure out how to fix it. But know that you fucked up, and let's not do this again.
Yeah.
There has to be that, and I think as parents, that's where that nurture part that you're saying. I think that's the biggest part of it, right? You want to baby your children in the sense of it's okay, it's not going to happen again. But every time it keeps happening again,
You're gonna get over it.
but you're still having the same conversation. You're not changing up the fucking topic. At what point do you say enough's enough? And if you have a lifetime of being treated that way, well, now that's being conditioned. I think narcissists are conditioned into becoming who they are.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so say that there's a parent that's a narcissist. Are they more?
Likely to raise a narcissist?
Yes. Are they more? Thank you. Are they likely to raise a narcissist or
That's a good
people
question.
pleaser to keep them
You know what?
in the same?
That's a really good
cycle.
question.
I honestly think it would be. I don't think a narcissist could raise somebody into being a narcissist, only because they raise them in that fear, right? Like you end up like if your children will end up knowing that you're a narcissist. Kids aren't stupid. I think us as adults, we turn kids dumb. You know, the more we try to tell them they don't know what they're talking about, like we kind of condition them to being fucking stupid when they're not, you know? So, like, if a person, like, if you live with someone that's always telling you, I'm right, and you're wrong, kind of like you and Natalie were saying, like, I care about not doing that as an adult.
Yeah.
How can, you know what I mean? Because I don't know how you would get a narcissist from a narcissist.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
like two negatives.
Unless they think about it this way though. You don't. Some people don't only have just one child.
True.
What if they raise a narcissist and they raise a people pleaser? The narcissist, let's say, is their favorite child because like, oh
Yeah.
damn, they're fucking like me. Fuck that kid.
Yeah.
The people pleaser, and
Yeah.
then they torment that person
that's
together.
Right.
I have an example of that.
Please share.
I actually, it just, as I'm thinking about it, a family member of mine who has 3 children, and the one child is very much, mom and child are narcissists together. And it's like the other 2 don't fucking count. Like,
Do they
they're just-
fight?
Oh, they don't get along. The mom and narcissist child do not get along. It's constant because they're battling for the same thing.
Yeah.
They're
The
battling
power.
for the same thing.
Yeah.
100%.
So-
As soon as you said it, I was like, oh my
what
God.
what do you do? So there's like, I've seen that, right? Because and I'm gonna say my dad and my brother are narcissists, but they're exactly the same person, and they themselves they don't get along. They end up fighting, like ends up being something,
Yeah.
right? But what happens with that? Like, if say the parent, you're a narcissist, right? And you, like you said, you have one that is and one's a people pleaser. I've seen some narcissists also be like fucking chameleons. Where they also like they're narcissists, but they also like they make sure that they fit in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So that's not to say that a narcissist can't fit in as a people pleaser.
I see
That's
what you're
true.
saying.
Because then, okay, like in relationships, they could go out, be around people like, oh my God, he's the sweetest person. Like, oh my God, I'm just so happy for you. But then behind closed doors,
bitch, you don't know.
he was like, I saw you fucking doing this. I saw you fucking doing that.
Yeah.
You are da-da-da. And they tear them down behind closed doors. And so I
And
definitely see
it doesn't
that
necessarily have to be
chameleon.
that aggressive either, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they can also like nicely gaslight you.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember that.
Or try to make something as a joke.
Yes, and then they make you feel crazy.
Yeah.
I really didn't know that this was like a serious thing. Like you can get
Narcissism?
you can get diagnosed as narcissistic personality disorder. It's a thing.
There is a guy on TikTok who was a former narcissist, and he goes through. I gotta find him. I'll show you guys, and I'll send it to you. But he's like, "This is what I did as a narcissist,"
How are you a formal?
and because he got help.
Wow.
Somehow something switched in his brain, like, I'm fucked up, I need to get help. And he was like, okay, this is what I used to do to my victims or to my people, that what I used to do. I gotta find it because it's so interesting. And I was like,
And that wasn't R. Kelly.
that wasn't
Interesting. Okay.
But I think it's interesting because I'm just reading all these articles now, and it just says how it causes being a narcissist causes so much problems in your life, right? Relationships, work, school, and financial matters. And I thought that was an interesting one. Why would finances have anything to do with being a narcissist? Yeah. So I'm gonna look more into this, but it kind of blew my mind because it just goes, and they're saying that it typically starts in the teenage years. That's when it starts,
oh no.
and in males.
Oh man, Joshua, we're gonna beat you.
Well, see, now,
Beat it out of you.
now you understand why I'm so much more harder on him, especially when it comes to accountability.
I see that.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't, like, that's why, like, so the other day, I told him, hey, Josh, go throw out the trash. And she was like, well, the trash cans aren't in from the alley yet. I said, okay, Josh, go get the trash. Well, what is he going to do? Just stand out there? It's like, well, how can he go outside if I don't open the door? Josh, go get the trash. My whole point was accountability.
Yeah.
Do what you've been asked to do.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at her like, why the fuck are you questioning what I'm asking my son to
Because I don't
do?
want my baby boy to stand out in the
But
cold waiting
so
for
that,
you.
so that
You're
is-
gonna build a future narcissist.
and that is the perfect example that what I'm telling you.
It's all
just
the
like,
mom's fault, okay? It's always the mom's fault.
But do you get what I'm saying? Like there's that accountability. I didn't ask you to do anything but to go get the trash ready to throw
But
out.
listen, the next day I'm like, I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't get up and go do. So there's a nice little balance. Okay?
There is, but you
I said to get the fuck up and make your bed.
there is, but the thing is, you can't put that between us in front of them.
Oh, that's true.
Because
she's being protective over you, which is making
But-
you.
Why do you have
But-
to air my dirty?
no, well, they already know. Just like I had the whole conversation with Natalie about how I fucked up with you over fucking pizza.
Oh, the pizza.
I defended
What
your
a
honor.
narcissist,
Yeah.
right?
I wasn't a narcissist because I was
no,
honest.
He tried to make me feel. Oh,
He guilt tripped me. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
So
I don't get a choice.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, great, just.
I was like,
Okay,
I thought
but-
you were
Take the pizza.
leaving, but I
But
got enough for everybody.
what did I say, Natalie?
I don't know what.
I said
She's like, I kind of zoned out
She
when
goes, I
you
don't
started
know. I
talking.
feel like I'm in the presence of a narcissist.
This is why sometimes I call him Kanye, because Kanye is a for sure narcissist.
Yes.
You know what? I don't. That's a whole nother topic.
No,
It
and he
is.
defends
No.
it.
It is a whole other topic.
Kanye is not a narcissist. Kanye is very honest, and that's the problem. Kanye says what Kanye is thinking.
Yeah. I hear now like, nah, I don't
But
think so.
I agree with Ray on this. I'm a huge Kanye fan.
The thing is,
I agree with Natalie and her.
narcissists don't think, right? And
About
they'll
others.
and they'll deflect what they said.
Does Kanye
It's-
think about others
Well, here's the thing though.
other than Kanye?
Kanye loves Kanye.
Okay,
Old Kanye.
but
Calls
have you
himself
I love the old
Jesus.
Kanye.
have you ever heard Kanye say he didn't say what they accuse him of saying?
Oh, that's true. He does say that. But
Yeah.
you know what? That's still not going to help me to like him.
I mean, I don't really care who likes him or doesn't like him.
His music's fine.
Because at the end of the day, like I said, I don't agree with everything he's done. But
Yeah.
you can't call him a narcissist because he's never lied about anything.
What is he?
Or
to
just
society?
accountability,
What
right?
is society calling him?
Crazy.
They don't even. I don't.
Crazy. yeah.
Bipolar.
Well, see, and
Bipolar?
that's the other thing, right? Because he's medically cleared or medically diagnosed with bipolarism,
That's
and
a
he's
whole
and
beast.
he has, and that's why I always tell people like you further your research before you go off of TikTok, because the thing is,
No.
well, you have to.
TikTok is my education. That's all I
So, because imagine the shit that you go through.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And would it be fair if people who didn't know
No.
everything you go through
That's
base
true.
everything off of?
All right, fine.
right?
You're right. Whatever.
Okay, we love Kanye.
No, you don't have. you don't have to-
Fine. I'm just kidding. I take it back.
it's just there's just a fine line of just understanding, and that's why I asked, like, where's that line at? Because there's people like Natalie was saying, like, maybe they're just dumb. Maybe they are just dumb. But through time, there's evolution.
Yeah.
And the mind evolves also. So
To another generation, though, right?
no,
Does
or
that
just
same person evolve?
you should, because you don't know.
That's the hope.
You don't know something now that you're gonna know later.
Yeah.
So there's always evolution,
Yeah.
not just physically but mentally. You have to know something.
I hope so. I hope so. I know a lot of people older that just their train of thought. I'm just it's so childish, and I'm thinking, wow, like, have you not experienced life just a little bit? Has as many things that have happened in these people's lives, I do wonder, did you just get stuck? Did you, what's that word? Arrested development?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have arrested development? How did this happen that you are not able to expand your mind, and now you're just, everything is happening to you? You're the victim of this life, and everything is so hard, and everyone is out to get you, and you want everyone to pity you, right? Because I think that's, and maybe this is a type of narcissism or maybe it's not narcissism, maybe it's just being a victim. And how do you move on decade after decade after decade with that mentality?
But narcissists create themselves into victims.
Okay.
So it does fall under that same realm, because at the end of the day,
it's all about them.
Yeah, what ends up happening is you end up trying to figure out, what up, Dougie? But you end up like realizing, like, there's zero accountability.
Yeah.
Right? There's like kind of like the example that Samantha had earlier, where it's just like we could both do the same thing, but the narcissist is going to think that the way they did it makes it okay. When you look, if you write down the procedure of how that process was done, it's exactly the same. So what made it different other than the person? There's zero accountability towards it. And complacency will tell you that it's okay, or it's easier to not have accountability than it is to actually look at yourself in the mirror and hold yourself accountable for the shit that you've done.
Yeah.
So let me just go ahead and continue to be complacent. Let me go ahead and continue to just keep doing these things the way I'm doing them, because nothing's going to fucking change.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to change.
Yeah.
This
is comfortable.
That would be the other question is would you consider narcissism a form of complacency?
Well, yeah, because you're choosing to not be aware or not give a shit about anybody. So you're complacent with your behavior.
So how do we medically diagnose that and say that that's a medical diagnosis? That's because it almost, in the examples that we've given, it seems like it's more of a choice to be a narcissist.
I have a question, because I have someone I'm friends with, and she's in a relationship where the guy's a narcissist, his mother's a narcissist.
Ooh.
And she's kind of stuck because she lives with the guy.
Oh my God.
And she only works 1 day a week. She doesn't drive.
Ooh.
And they have a baby.
She's trapped.
Okay. So with that, I'm like, okay, well, you got to get out of there. Like, what does your family say? She has an older sister, a mom, and a dad. The mom and dad are split. So they have separate places they live. I was like, so go to your dad, go to your mom and your sister. Well, my mom and my sister, I was like, what do they say? They tell me to leave. I was like, okay, so what's their what are they helping me with? They said that it's just too many mouths to feed for me to come.
Wow.
Well, see,
And I'm like, are they
so that's
narcissists too?
no.
Like, are you like in a, because she was like, no, like, we can't really help you. Like, you shouldn't, but we know what you're going through. Jesus, and we're not.
That's just cruel.
Yes.
Yeah,
and this
that's
poor
just
girl.
cruel.
And I'm like, there's no, because you said, I don't care. Like, if it was for a loved one, I'd fucking do anything.
Right.
And I even told her that. I was like, there's no fucking way that if one of my sisters, my daughter, my cousin, something, I'd be like, get the fuck over here, leave him, and we'll figure it out. I was like, how can your family be like, oh, well, we know,
Sorry.
but that's just too many mouths to feed.
Well, there's that's just shitty parenting. I don't
They
think
don't
that
give a
has
shit about her.
I don't think that has anything to do with narcissism,
But
because
you don't
to
think-
be honest, they're actually being brutally fucking honest.
But then the sister, so her older sister is where the mom lives. They have a house, they have 2 kids. And so when the girl first went to the mom, the sister stopped her and was like, but mom, I need your help with my kids.
Oh,
I need your help.
fuck.
So she moved the mom in with her, and now there's like no space for
Oh, it's
the
like
sister.
a tit for tat.
Yeah. but
That's
I
just
need
shitty
your help.
parenting.
And I
That
was like,
has
what the fuck?
There's nothing that I don't think has anything to do with narcissism. That's just being a shitty person.
But also before she had the baby, she had told them, I'm having a baby shower this day. Tell our family. I'll tell his side of the family. Everybody come. Yeah. They knew the date it was. The sister and the mom decided we're going to have our own baby shower the weekend.
Damn.
No, the day before.
What?
So everybody went to their baby shower.
Those are assholes.
And then nobody, because I went to her baby shower the next day. Yeah. No one was there from her family.
Again,
oh no,
Assholes.
You're not explaining to me who's a narcissist. None of that.
Well, all of them, because they don't give a shit about the.
Well, no. But the thing is, narcissists lie. None of them lied about this situation.
That's true.
They're all being brutally honest and letting people know I'm just a dick.
yeah.
So
I don't think that falls in the line of being a narcissist, because they're not victimizing themselves. They just don't want to.
The sister was like, but I need
No, maybe
to.
the sister's she's not. I don't even think she's a narcissist.
Well,
we would have to know more in depth on the sister.
All right, I'll bring her. I'll bring her on.
well, look, this says people with narcissistic personality disorder have trouble handling anything because they view everything as criticism. Okay, so this says that they become impatient or angry when they don't receive special recognition or treatment. They have major problems interacting with others and feel easily slighted. They react with rage or contempt and try to belittle other people to make themselves appear superior.
Yeah.
They have difficulty managing emotions and their behavior, experience major problems dealing with stress, so they can't deal with stress or adapting to change.
Fucking papas.
Oh my God. But here's the last one that I thought was interesting. They have secret feelings of insecurity, shame, humiliation, and fear of being exposed as a failure.
But those are all of me. Oh. Maybe not all of it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a narcissist. I've been called out.
But in that
the stress, the failure, all of it.
In that description, though, that's pretty much just saying like that's like the cause to it, right? Perhaps what you just read. That's the secret. The secret feeling is kind of like the cause to it. So it's really like, so how you're saying like, well, that's all me. Yeah, but you choose. Again, we go back to the choice of being a narcissist. Well, you choose to deal with those insecurities a certain way.
Yeah.
Right, but see, and before that, the prerequisite to that whole statement was about the symptoms, right? Which is like, Samantha doesn't take advantage of others to get what they want, or has an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs or feelings of others.
She takes advantage of me sometimes.
Or behaves in an arrogant way, brags a lot, or comes across as conceited. This is crazy. Like, I didn't realize how in-depth narcissism.
It's very precise.
It is.
And all of that last statement that you said is also, I feel like it's the formula to bring down the narcissistic person, to let them know, like, hey, you know what? I'm going to criticize them. You let them know that they're fucked up. You highlight their insecurities, and then that's going to bring them down, and hopefully...
It goes back to, once you tell them all of that, there's that shame, there's that insecurity, there's that humiliation. Yeah. But I think it's very interesting how the root of all of this, fear of being exposed as a failure. Yeah. Like, clearly they don't, embrace failures as a win, because, failing, you gotta learn how to fail. Mm-hmm. And that's sad. Mm-hmm. But it does say when to see a doctor and how you should seek treatment, because if you don't, you can get heavily depressed, drug use, alcohol misuse, and other mental health problems.
Yeah, there's a painting of, I learned this in art class, where the word narcissist comes from. So there's a myth that Narcissus was his name. He was this beautiful man, and he was out looking for his lover. He was just a passionate person, and he came across a nymph. And I don't know exactly what a nymph is. If you guys know,
isn't it like a little fairy?
Yeah, I feel like it's like a little fairy.
Okay,
she likes to have sex.
Okay, perfect.
Wait, no.
That's a
nympho.
That's a nympho, bro.
Maybe that's where
maybe the nymph likes to do it.
Maybe. So the nymph was named Echo. Narcissus came across Echo, and he rejected her or it or them. I don't know, whatever. He was so devastated. The nymph Echo put a curse on him that he would fall in love with the reflection
of himself. Oh, shut up.
And he was so besides himself that he was so in love with his reflection and he couldn't get that love back. He died.
Oh.
Isn't that ironic?
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes narcissists
really deep.
cannot love.
That's pretty deep.
Because they're too involved loving themselves.
Yeah, they were too involved.
That's the only. That's all they. That's all. That's all. What the fuck? I'm all tongue twisted.
That's all they know.
Yeah, that's all who they can love. Does that make fucking sense?
Yeah.
Maybe it could come from a coping mechanism, because what I thought when you were saying that, like, imagine a kid who never received love and did not know how to like accept love, and it was always just shitty all the time.
Yeah.
And maybe this kid one day had to make a choice, like, you know what? Fuck that. Nobody's gonna love me.
Yeah.
Nobody gave me that. So I'm gonna do it for myself. I'm gonna love for myself. And then that coping mechanism went the bad route, and now you have a narcissist.
Yeah.
Because that could also be it. Because like I said, no one's born a fucking narcissist.
No, we create
Who
them.
hurt you? What happened?
Yeah, you're
you know?
conditioned.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
It's insecurities.
It is.
Fucking narcissists.
Yeah,
Man.
we all got one in our lives.
You know what?
we do.
Shout out to you guys though. You guys actually kept us on topic. This is why you guys are so fucking pro.
I didn't even think about that.
This is
We have not gone off tangent.
This is
Miracle.
this is the first Sam and Ray podcast on tangent. Like,
And here we have season 2. So we start.
that's
Good
dope
for you.
though.
Good for
Yeah.
us. You know what? I'm proud of all of us.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I
We-
think this was
Thank
just
you.
a good topic, and I really didn't know a lot about it. Like I wanted to know. I think on a surface level, like okay,
it's like you knew, but
yeah,
like actually looking at it in front of you, you're just like, oh shit.
this
Yeah.
is a thing.
It's confirmation now.
Yeah, people need help.
Yeah.
You need help.
crazy.
Get it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have you guys back.
Okay. I'm down.
But when we have you back, we have to have some type of resolution towards dealing with narcissism.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next
Because we
question.
all have situations going on right now. And when we come back, we hopefully have some kind of
Closure.
And the thing is, there's
Yeah.
nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's just
That's
how
a
do you,
compassionate way of looking
I
at
was
it.
gonna be sarcastic and be like, no, bitch, I'm right.
you just got to figure out your way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
And I think boundaries is a big one. When you know that you're dealing with the narcissist and you can't avoid this person and you have to like work with them, boundaries become very important.
Yeah.
And discipline with those boundaries. Like,
Yeah.
because it's really easy to get sucked back into things, but the person who is the, I guess, victim in this case, right? You have to have those boundaries and you have to have the disciplines to follow them. Because that goes back to self-love. Like, you're now respecting yourself and want something better for yourself.
well, fuck coming back. Thanks for giving us the answer.
No, I still want to see how her situation pans out.
Yeah.
Your situation pans out.
But I think what's given that, right? We all have our own individual circumstances.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think it's ever going to change. No matter whether or not you resolve the situation or not, you're always going to encounter some type of narcissist.
But
You're
at
always going to have to deal with that
at
issue.
least with like the previous where you got some kind of resolve, you'll know how to go about it from now on.
So let me ask
Yeah.
you guys something, because we had something come up this week as a team where it was just this situation where it kind of came out of left field and someone had, sentiments about something. I'm of the mindset now where it's like, okay, what am I expecting out of this? Like me, do I want to pour energy into this, into trying to find a resolution, into trying to figure this person out?
Yeah.
I don't think I have the capacity for things like that anymore.
Good for
Where
you.
before I would try to be like, oh, what happened? How can
Let's
we help?
fix this.
Let's
I'm
fix
so
this.
sorry.
I don't have the capacity, right? And I
Yeah.
love it because Ray came back and said, like, do people not think that people have lives? Like,
Right.
like going on? Like, do people not understand that?
Well, no, clearly in your research, there are
Yeah, they don't.
examples of being just selfie ball. Like, you're just into your own shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And your shit is heavy shit and only your shit matters and it's the stinkiest,
But when-
so listen to it.
But when you break it down, it's just like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Who hurt you?
Like, it's not that fucking serious. Like, it's not. It is what it is. We gotta let it go. You know, like. Again, it goes back to. It goes back to that quote. Like,
I want to add, and I don't look. I'm just gonna say this like this, and we can take it with a grain of salt, right? But like, people want to see you doing good, but not better than them. And
you say that all the time.
And as soon as that, this whole situation came up, I was like, that's the only thing I could think of. And well, why? Like, why?
We've had multiple situations like that happen with us where people are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking.
well, it's a discomfort of change.
Yeah.
And that discomfort of change comes from the willingness to be complacent.
Yeah.
So, while you're being complacent and change is happening, everything around you is moving and you're not.
Right.
So when you assume that things are still the way they are, and then you realize that it's not, it's just like, what the fuck is everybody doing right now?
Yeah.
It's not me. I'm not the issue. Which, in actuality, like, we could honestly just say, like, it may not be anyone's fucking issue.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It could be nobody's fucking issue.
Right.
Yeah.
So why are we making it somebody's
Right.
issue?
Right. Right.
I think as a people, we have to be better at asking more questions instead of making asses out of ourselves.
And don't make things infinite and or definitive or this is how things have to be. Like, one of the biggest things I've realized is that it takes time to develop things.
Yeah.
It takes time to figure out how you fit into people's lives and vice versa. Like, it takes time to come up with the groove and like, all right, cool. Like, this is where I want to go. And it should be that simple.
Yeah. Everything is fluid.
Don't marry everything.
Yes, you said it.
Don't marry everything.
Oh,
Damn,
girl,
that was
I'm
good.
gonna use that shit
Damn.
forever now. Yeah.
I'm here all night.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, ladies, appreciate you guys for tapping in with us.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us. This has been awesome.
You know what?
I feel like this conversation could have gone on longer.
Oh, it
Hell
can.
yeah.
It can, and that's why I'm saying, like, we could come back and revisit this.
We will.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to necessarily be about our current situations. It could just be just in general. Like, we're not gonna solve our situations now. I don't think, and I don't think you can resolve issues with narcissists.
No.
You just gotta learn how to fucking, excuse the pun, but you gotta learn how to stroke it
Yeah.
and just fucking rub it out,
Yeah.
to say the least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
You
this
just-
is what it is. So
Exactly.
it is what it is. I guess that's the only thing you say. It is what it is. Fucking narcissists.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Appreciate you, ladies.
Thank you guys.
Ricky Lee,
Thank you guys
Natalie.
so much.
Thank you, Sam and Ray.
Oh,
You
This
guys
has
are
been
amazing.
probably the best podcast we've had.
Aw.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
don't say that. No, don't say that because, and for the record, I think we could go off tangent because Samantha and I proved that early morning at fucking 3:00 in the morning of the
Yeah.
different
Yes.
topics that we covered in less than 48 minutes.
So you know what we'll probably have to do then in future episodes.
Yeah.
Whether it be together, individually, we might have to have like off tangent actual conversations
Take it
in
in
the car,
Yeah,
in
I
the
like it.
restaurant. Like, we're
I'm
gonna
down.
do all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the best place is in the car because we have like the most random conversations, and I don't know why.
But
Well,
that's it for
Yeah.
that's it for today, and we're gonna have you guys back again.
thank you so much.
Thank you
I
guys.
appreciate
Thank
you guys.
you.
We love you.